Don't I burn calories just breathing? Okay. So the gym is definitely on your horizon if you think that. But what's the perfect workout plan? What are you working towards is what I might ask you. There's no real perfect plan other than consistency. But if I had to nail something down, a high level of daily movement to start is key. This includes standing at work, commuting on public transit, biking, and doing chores, all good candidates for daily movement. Basically, get off the couch or computer chair. Once you reach a comfortable weight, then increase your daily calorie burn to at least 40 minutes of cardio with at least 15 minutes being high intensity. During these phases, you'll need to adjust your calorie intake within your reason to accommodate your energy needs. Your diet is critical in this phase, especially once you get past 6 months. Your primary focus should be almost always on high protein, low carb, no sugar, all this within moderation. Most importantly, eat for energy, not pleasure. Always track your calories with an app like MyFitnessPal or Lose It. Little tip, don't fall for the high protein trap. Just because it's high in protein or keto, maybe tastes good, doesn't make it calorie free or something you should actually eat. Remember, these daily calories we're trying to burn, that high protein cottage cheese, chicken pizza you saw on Instagram is still loaded with calories, or that box of keto ice cream, protein pasta, or protein peanut butter cups. These will all contribute to what you'll have to burn off at the gym, or they'll end up back on your hips, especially if you struggle with compulsive eating or pleasure eating like myself. If you are paying attention, 30 minutes of running is about 350 calories. Yes, running. So unless you're doing a marathon every day, you don't need to eat that many calories. One pint of keto ice cream is 510 calories. In fact, I would recommend avoiding dairy if you want to maximize results on the scale and lean more towards plant-based protein. But if you listen to your medical team and what they suggest, I just know that cheese and dairy are addicting, and I often struggle with them eating them today. Avoid foods as best you can, especially wasted calories from non good sources of lean protein like chicken and fish. This is key to going beyond what surgery provides you and keeping the weight off while trimming down to a lean body. Endurance, the muscle you need to focus on. Endurance is key to burning fat. And if you can build your endurance over the next several months, you can burn a lot of calories and lose fat. And that's starting to define your ideal body. Endurance is like your other muscle in the sense that it requires you to build a little bit at a time, but within different techniques. Think of your endurance as not one muscle, but a group of muscles, rather, a synchronization between your heart, your body, meaning your muscles, and your mind. When you exercise cardio, that's your body elevating your breathing and sweat to keep the machine running. It will leverage stored calories to do that. But for this to happen, you must push yourself. If you're going to be on a piece of exercise equipment like a treadmill, elliptical machine, bike, stair stepper, or rower, you got to push yourself to the point of sweating. Always work your heart rate at a pace that will help you burn calories more in the shortest period of time. I see so many people at the gym on the treadmill or elliptical going like the minimum walking speed of like 1.0. This is not pushing. I want to see you sweat. I want to see you doing it with some gradual increased resistance. When you're done, you should be a little bit sweaty on the brow and your heart rate should be elevated. So get a headband or bring a towel and drink plenty of fluids. Also, I recommend tracking your activity with a smartwatch. I'm always going to recommend an Apple Watch, especially if you're an iPhone user. But of course, it's not needed. But the thing is, being a Capricorn, I love enjoying tracking everything and calculating my activity levels. Be sure to close your rings if you got an Apple Watch. Your tracking device can provide you with the data you need to determine if you're pushing yourself enough or too much. The best way to know if you're exerting yourself is if you can talk and be able to speak on the machine. If you're at moderate low activity levels, you'll still be able to talk and you can speak. But if you're sweating in high moderate intensity levels, your upper cardiovascular levels, you shouldn't be able to talk. At the same time, you don't need to live in high intensity zone because that can overtax your body and lead to burnout. So aim for the fat burning zones most of the time and work towards building your endurance in the high level zones at a certain capacity. Your machine might have a chart that displays like heart rate zones and fat burning zones. This is usually based on your age and it shows zones for fat burning and zones for aerobic activity. Try to spend 25 minutes in the fat burning zones and about 15 minutes in the high intensity cardio building zones. Of course, do this after you've built up to this in a progressive building session. Now, what about like everything else in the gym, like weights and stuff, stretching and the massage chair, right? The gym is a cool place, loaded with distractions and exercises. But when you get cleared for activity, if you go to the gym at least 4 times a week, if it's less, that's okay, but do as much as you can consistently. Also, don't overdo it because if you burn out, you'll either hurt yourself or stop going to the gym. And when you are not at your initial goal weight, focus on 80% of your time at the gym and cardio and activities that make you sweat. I highly recommend elliptical machines. It's a fantastic way to start to build movement and endurance. It's great for people with big stomachs too. I can attest to that. Do as much as you can on this starting small but manageable sessions, such as 10, 15, 20, or 40 minutes. Also, remember, I want to see you push yourself to the point of sweating. Adjust the resistance and such to meet that need. The treadmill is my second favorite machine, but this may be something for when you're in low under 200 pounds or in the 250 zone. Of course, this depends on your gender and height. Treadmills, especially ones that are not well maintained or cheap, tend to be tricky for larger people. So if you are above that threshold, be careful and maybe go slower for shorter periods of time, but increase the incline a bit to get some resistance. Bikes, stationary bikes are also good. Make sure you're pushing yourself though, and not just sitting on it on your phone and watching everyone else work out. Rowers and steppers are also the opposite. They're actually really high intensity and can burn a lot of calories quickly, but just keep in mind how your body interacts with these machines, what muscles they target and pull, and how much bang for the buck you're getting for 10 to 40 minutes of activity. They can be also tricky because there's usually less of them and they're hardest to get on at the gym. Weightlifting. This is probably the most controversial topic of this course, but you could ask several people and get several different answers to this. And they'll school you on how you got to lift weights to get bigger muscles, burn more calories, or something like that, right? If they're right or wrong, I don't know. But what I do know is that what I've learned from losing over 100 pounds twice in my life is that fat is fat and muscle is hidden underneath fat. So you can bulk up if you want, but the whole reason you've got the surgery is because you want to slim down. And slimming down is burning calories stored in fat by doing cardio. You can do that by doing the cardio that I suggested. Also, you can do all the crunches in the world, but you're never going to see your abs unless you cut the fat. There's no such thing as spot training. So if you do 500 crunches, you may lose fat in your forehead before your stomach. This is science. Weightlifting stretches your muscles so they get bigger and stronger, but this is probably best done when you can see your muscles versus when you're gift wrapped with fat. And the problem is weightlifting doesn't really elevate your heart rate enough to burn those 350 calories per day. You can maybe live on just weightlifting to maintain your physique if you are really committed to your diet and you're at your ideal body weight for your height, but probably not if you're taking this course. What is semi unique to bariatric patients is because you're losing fat so quickly, you'll have excess skin, and you can't tell you how much or how little you'll have because all of our bodies are different, and that's that. I have excess skin in areas you never thought someone could have excess skin. Now, you can bulk up to help reduce some excess skin, but bulking up your muscles can help replace what was once fat to help reduce skin. But this is only to an extent. You would likely need to train for like Arnold to make this work. And I don't know about you, but I don't really want to look like Arnold. For your first 50 pounds or so after bariatric surgery, my goal has always been to slim down to a comfortable weight and then build up muscle moderately only after I get down past my initial goal weight. That's why I'm 100% recommending focusing 80% of your time and effort on cardio machines, followed by 20% on a few simple core weight movements such as squats, crunches, arms, and shoulder exercises that will help you get better at cardio. Not really doing weightlifting for looks at this time. Once you get to a point where you want to start shaping your physique to build your ideal body, this is when weightlifting and training are key. At this point, you'll need a new guide. But know that weightlifting is not just training the vanity set of muscles to be done right, it needs to be training groups of muscles that support each other and strengthen the core that helps you stabilize everything else. My plan will hopefully get you to that foundation for that to go farther once you get to your ideal weight. High intensity training such as HIIT or HITT, dance or kickboxing can also be options for you, but that may be awkward in the early days of your bariatric exercise journey. The elliptical machine is your friend. There are probably multiple available at the club right now, so see you at the gym. Let's get sweating. To answer the initial question, don't I burn calories by just breathing? Yes, your body burns calories just by breathing. Your body turns two main sources of whenever it needs fuel and energy. glycogens, carbohydrates stored within your muscles, and your own body fat. Although our heart rate needs to be elevated for at least 20 minutes before your body dips into fat stores for energy, you're still burning excess calories whether you work out for 1 minute or 1 hour, even if your body burns mostly calories from stored carbohydrates. So you'll have fewer in your system for your body to assume and store for as fat. So, depending on how much time you have to exercise, you should determine what is most important for you that day. If you only have 10 to 20 minutes, try to do something that elevates your heart rate but is gentle on your body. Get that heart rate up, but go slow and go often. Can you put 20 to 40 minutes in? Then you can add resistance training and burn stored calories while you also investing time in building muscles that will help you get faster and stronger for doing cardio. If you're willing to dedicate even more time, then you can build your body to be great physical shape faster and achieve optimal mental health, taking full advantage of the surgery and bariatric lifestyle that you signed up for.